Termites. It's episode 59. How exciting is that? Some of you need to be reminded, Termites, that when I'm on the road, these might be a little later in the day, and let's not become aggressive. Because I think aggressive termites, we know what they do. They eat homes. They eat walls. Just simmer down, termites.
They eat puppies.
They cause a lot of damage. Most of you, very patient. There's just a couple jump the guns. Just know it will be out on Tuesday, probably. I can't promise at what time, though. I can't. There's too many things going on. Good news is, what are we drinking? Well, because I'm going to Pittsburgh. I saw it on the calendar in January, I believe. And I always love the Bronte Brothers sandwich, but I also love this Briney Mary, Bloody Mary mix. You can get it online, too, at PittsburghPickle.com. If they ship to your state. I don't know every alcohol law, which is surprising. You would think I would, but I don't. But it has pickle juice in it. Oh, it's the best. They're very proud of it in Pittsburgh, as they should be. But anything you throw pickle juice into Jameson, holy Toledo. It almost makes it like candy. And I have a chaser. I did an interview with Milwaukee today, and the guy was like, "So you don't get a free beer everywhere you go in America when you order a Bloody Mary?" I'm like, "No, that's kind of a upper Midwest thing. No, that's Wisconsin-y, maybe Minnesota. Like in St. Louis, if you ordered a Bloody Mary, nobody's bringing you a free tiny beer. No. Like the first time I was probably 21 when I went to Wisconsin for the first time, and they did that. I was like, huh, do I have to pay for that? And the lady's like, no, it's your chaser. And I go, oh. And then I thought, do I look hungover? Because I am, but is it that obvious that the lady thought that lady needs a beer? Yeah. So that's what we're drinking, and then I have my beer chaser of just a regular old light beer in my same mug as last week. Not very creative, Kathleen. I didn't check enough.
Is it your favorite? Favorite mug right now?
No, my White Castle one is my favorite one, and my Buc-ee's one. Seamus McDaniel's, though, is one of my favorite bars in St. Louis. Okay. Termites have sent some fun things. 2 South Carolina ball markers from Catherine. And it's still, I'm telling you guys, best flag ever. The Missouri flag, we have a bear on it. And yeah, we have bears in Missouri.
Why?
Well, we have bears in Missouri, but it's not like what we'd be known for.
No.
I mean, they're down in the Ozarks. They're Missouri brown and black bears, I guess. They're not that, like if you go in Bass Pro Shop, though, I don't know, have any of you ever thought this? They have pictures of like Midwest brown bears, and they're only like 4 foot tall. And in my mind, I think I could take it. Because they have them stuffed. So when I walk up to it, I'm like, yeah, this is just like that workout video. I can shadow box you. Come on, motherfucker, I'll do it.
I can't see that.
Yeah, our flag, it could use help. Yeah. I like the St. Louis City flag, which is basically we kind of maybe hacked New Orleans a little bit and went with the Florida League. Yeah. Now, I was going to start the Pubcast with this on, but then I wouldn't be able to get the headphones off. This was set. This is great. I can't wait. You know what's sad is I fly enough that the Delta flight attendants, they know me. And sometimes I get there and there's already a beer in my seat.
Nice.
What's the one they always serve on Delta? The green can.
420.
420. Yeah, that was a big thing with Delta for a while. And I got there and one time it was already in my seat and I'm like, yeah. And then I was like, wait a minute. Do they think that it was like 9 a.m? But to me, it's a travel day. I can drink all day. Mm-hmm. I'm in different time zones. There's no time.
What time did you get?
It's just like a cruise ship. They don't know where I can. Could have come from Hong Kong. You don't know. Jennifer and Steve said thanks for the podcast, and there's like 2 Delta flight attendant guys that I can't wait to see, and I can't wait for the next flight because this says vodka and cranberry, please. And it has a picture of it. I'm just going to sit there in my seat. I can't wait to put it on. Those guys will laugh their asses off. Well, there's a couple ladies, too, that will laugh their ass off. Now, there's a couple other things. This person's... I got another ranch thing. And here's the thing, you guys. I'm going to have a whole ranch Christmas tree and a ranch bottle ornament. Because this lady said, I know you got a lot. This is April from Wyoming. Wow. I've only been to Wyoming once. I did a show in Gillette. And they were a rabid audience. It was like doing a USO thing. They just kept thanking me for coming to Wyoming. I'm like,
Wyoming?
It's not that big of a deal. I got on a plane. I mean, it is a big deal. It's hard to get to, but I don't mind. But it was like doing a USO show. They were so excited. She said I have 2 ranch dressings. I do. But look, they're all different. See?
Yeah.
They're not the same.
No.
So the tree will be started. That's right. I won't do a whole ton of these, but enough so that I keep up because I feel like people want to know if the stuff got here. Oh, this is crazy. Okay, so this is it goes on. Biggest fan, Kentucky, Carolyn. It's a thing. She saw this at a liquor store checkout. It said it's to improve the taste of whiskey by removing toxins. I can't imagine good Kentucky bourbon needing improvement. Oh, boy, I've been on that Kentucky bourbon trail, and I just picture foreigners, people come from around the world to go on that, and it'll say like Maker's Mark this way, but it doesn't tell you that you're going to go through 25 miles of back-ass woods hillbilly. I saw dudes without shirts around a fire. It's a Tuesday. Why aren't you at work? You know, I saw flags I've never seen. That's even more frightening than seeing the flags that already kind of emit a little bit of warning. I'm like, what is that? And then I'm Googling it. What's that flag? Who do you hate?
Right.
I don't know. But anyway, once you get to these places, they are awesome. The bourbon trail's a shitload of fun. Don't drink it and drive it. Get a driver deal in a van. That's even more fun.
Driver deal.
But she was intrigued when she read it that it could reduce a hangover. I thought it'd be a good experiment if you got like 2 bottles of whiskey and added an element to 1 bottle. Right. We'll do a little science experiment.
Totally.
And then...
You love science.
But then I hate science unless it involves alcohol. Then I love science. But I'll have to get someone else. Maybe I'll make you paddles do it. Or maybe my brother loves bourbon and my sister-in-law, Ellie, loves bourbon. Maybe I'll make them be... We have to have 2 people.
Right.
I'll do one. Those 2,
Bottle.
those 2 drinky the clowns can do the other, and then we'll see who's more hungover. How fun will that be on a Saturday? Yeah. And then this got sent to my mom and dad's house, and then my dad brought it over, and he told me this is it's a very sentimental note, but then he told. I think you should read this, and I think you should wear the pin on your broadcast. I go, broadcast? Like I'm Tom Brokaw or Walter Cronkite. I'm broadcasting live from Rockefeller Center in New York City. This little pin, I can't put it, well, I can put it on, but I didn't because I wanted to show it like that. It's a little gold pin, and it's for pediatric cancer. So, yeah, and I will wear it. I'll wear it on stage or something. And this lady's daughter passed away from a 2.5-year-old granddaughter. Died of cancer 2 years ago. When I finally started breathing in, I found your podcast. Thank God. Truly am thankful for that, which is super sweet. Her name's Diane, and she's from south of Boston. Just south.
Southie.
Good enough. There's a little card in here of her granddaughter. Adorable. And then I didn't know. So now when you see one of these gold ribbons, because there's a lot of different things out there. Yeah, why gold? When we think of gold, we think of a precious metal. A wedding ring or maybe a family heirloom. We believe that gold should represent so much more, the most precious thing we have.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah.
sometimes the termites get you. Back to drinking. You can't, but I will wear this. I'll wear it on stage somewhere. Well, next time I go to Boston. Yeah. Well, I just was there. Maybe I'll wear it sooner than that. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to have a little drink of my Bloody Mary. It's so good.
Delicious. Pittsburgh.
I can't wait to go to Pittsburgh because I was talking to my friend Bill Crawford. Do you guys know Bill Crawford, the comedian? You should know Bill Crawford. He's also on the radio every day in Pittsburgh. And I was talking to him about the Steelers. There might be a lot of bridge jumping in Pittsburgh. Prepare yourself, Pittsburgh. You know,
They're the new Cleveland.
I don't like to talk about sports too much because a lot of people don't care about them. And a lot of people can be mean. It's the meanest thing, even over politics. If you tweet something about sports, I could put "Go Cardinals." That's it, right? Mm-hmm. That's not offending anyone. Just go Cards. Yep. Fuck your arrogant fan base. What? Hey, whoa.
Thank you.
Maybe matter of fact, Fred Bird needs to come out a little bit more because why the Cardinals have won 16 in a row? Oh my God. Anyway, I have said to my friend Bill, which has made me think of this for the podcast to drink this. I've thought, and don't send me hate mail. I don't care enough to argue. I just feel like, as much as I love Bill, which I do, he's very funny and smart. There's a love going on of Ben Roethlisberger in that town.
It's unhealthy.
Well, it's a little unhealthy because it's a little passé. They got to let go. I know he was a great boyfriend to you at one time, but the time has come and gone, and they can't let go. Even if you suggest it, no, they go crazy. Like I'm always open to suggestions about any team I like. Yeah. Hey, here's an idea. Maybe no, they go completely crazy.
They're drafting around him.
Yeah, they are. Come on. I'm like, how old is he? 58? And you know what? There's one person that gets to be 58, and that's Tom. It's Tom Brady, and you don't have Tom Brady. I really think Tom Brady is so smart. I would actually put him in a wheelchair out there and still think he could kick some other teams. Not all of them.
Detroit's.
The Jaguars.
Totally.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence. I'd put Tom out there to intercept him in a wheelchair. All right, moving on. Because I know a lot of people don't like sports talk, so I try to stay away from it. But
Queens.
look,
Queens.
there's no Queen news. Nobody did anything.
What?
Well, Cher's mouthing off on Twitter, but she always does. There's nothing crazy new. Nothing. Sorry, I can't create the news. I'm only here to do the Lord's work.
Well, we need a new queen.
Well, we could have another queen.
Yeah, we got to vote.
I don't know. Let's vote on somebody else then. Who else do we want in?
Ask the termites.
That's what I said. You guys vote. One of my favorite snacks, I can't have it in the house. This is why, if I did have children, I would weigh a good 240. Wow. Yep, goldfish. And this would be the only reason. Love them. But because I am doing the Lord's work, I spent the money, and I bought jalapeno popper flavored. Now I know I'm not going to love this.
Gross.
Well, some people like hot.
I do.
I'm going to taste it, and I'll give them to the kids. No, it's not for me. It takes away the taste of something perfect.
Bloody Mary.
It's like Cheez-Its. You can't improve on a Cheez-It.
No.
And you can't improve on the goldfish. But if you really want to have your kids eat less of them, get these. Because they're hot, and they'll grow tired of them after about 8.
You get them.
Yeah, but I don't want them. But at least you're not spending. This is $5. I mean, I don't know how people are affording to feed families. Jesus, cereal? We've already talked about that. It's like crack.
Yeah.
Okay, all that. Now, what I am excited to tell you guys about, this is Buttermilk Romano Ranch.
Oh, nice.
It's from Ohio, Westerville, Ohio. Marzetti. I don't know. I assume you can get all these online. That's why I'm doing it.
Yeah,
In case you want to.
That's at Kroger. I'm looking at it.
Can you get it online? Okay.
You can get it at Kroger.
Oh, you can get it at Kroger. Okay. Well, some places don't have Kroger.
Yeah.
What about St. Louis? Can you get it at Deerbergs or Schnucks? Wow. Very tangy. I love it, though.
Your face is red.
It's very tangy. Really good, though. Here's the thing. Somebody said, what about spicy ranch? And I went, no.
Right.
Now you're ruining ranch. Either I'm kind of a purist on creamy white ranch. I don't want anything in it. But whatever this Romano ranch is, if you like tangy, I will allow tangy.
Okay.
I'll taste everything on everyone else's behalf. But yeah, I'd say order a bottle of that. Marzetti, show notes. Pat will tell you where to get it.
Got it. No problem.
If it wasn't sold out, I'd eat the whole cracker.
Delete it anyway.
What's the last thing we're going to be tasting? Work of the Lord. This is really for my mom. Because everything I hate, I give to her. And she's like, oh, thanks. She likes sweet stuff, and I just don't. Now, when we were kids, we couldn't afford Oreos. We had Hydrox. It's kind of a Midwest thing. Hydrox.
Hydrox.
Yeah. And then I only, but they were really only for my dad. We weren't allowed to eat them. They were his, quote, snack. Oreos were the upgrade. But then once you eat Hydrox your whole life, you don't think Oreo's an upgrade. I think it's not my thing. I'd rather have Hydrox. However, These are apple cider donut Oreo.
Gross.
Yes, gross. I'm doing the work of the Lord. People who like sweets might like it. I don't like apple or cider.
This will be good then.
Holy fuck. My God. My mom will love it. Oh, my God.
Happy fall.
That's like, it's like eating perfume.
Gross.
Oh, God.
Beer chaser. Beer chaser.
Yeah. Oh, man. Go back to ranch. God.
Gross.
That was awful. Oh, who are they going for? I mean, there can't be that many versions of my mom out there. Who are they? Who is that? Oh, yeah.
The fall people. The pumpkin spice people.
The pumpkin spice people. I know.
Can I get a pumpkin spice latte?
There was only one girl working at the Starbucks by my house, and people were giving her shit. And I thought, you know what? You people with your 17-word orders, you're goddamn lucky this lady's here. Because when she abandoned ship, you're making your own.
Right.
So are you into that? Do you know how to work the equipment at Starbucks?
No.
I don't.
No.
People are aggressive because there's no employees anywhere anymore. I have a story about that too, but I'm going to wait for next week because I have a longer story about it because it backs up my theory and the theory of Lewis Black that they're not just sitting at home collecting checks. They figured out other shit to do where they don't have to be abused by the general public. They get a pay that's more predictable and sometimes benefits.
Right.
All right, moving on. Update! This is insane. If I didn't do this pubcast, I wouldn't know one thing about this because I would just go, I don't care. Right. But now I'm in, and it's been like quicksand. There's another documentary about Britney Spears.
What?
Yeah.
Which one?
It's called, wait.
I'm in.
Framing Britney Spears was the first one. I don't know, you got to Google it. I didn't print out the rest. It's on Netflix. Oh, no. Yeah, Controlling Britney Spears. Hulu released it, I think. Check Netflix, too, though. There's a whole nother one about Britney Spears. I mean, is this like a... Netflix. Yeah.
No, Hulu.
Hulu. Yeah. Okay, because I watched something else on Hulu.
Netflix is Britney versus Spears. Hulu is Controlling Britney Spears.
Controlling, that's the new one. Mm-hmm. Where they're, see, I don't know what happened. I didn't print out the 5 most shocking allegations from the bombshell. I'll have to do it next week. I know one of them is that her father, they think there were cameras in her bedroom.
Oh, man. Really?
Right, gross. Right. Ugh. Well, it's just, is this like a modern day thing that we've all just, but like my dad said, lawyer-wise, you have to prove a lot of shit to a court to get conservatorship. Yeah, you can't just, who knows what he had? I don't know what the dad had as far as proof that they granted it. It can't just be shaving your head in the valley in L.A. one day.
A long time ago.
It was 100 years ago, and tons of kids do that.
Right.
I mean, I don't think it's normal. It's nothing you're going to find me doing anytime soon. And I would freak out if my kid did it, but there's a whole new, I can't bring myself to watch it. I just go,
I'll report back.
I will. I'll watch it for the sake of this, again, doing the work of the Lord. Because I really want to watch the Bob Ross documentary, but I haven't had time. And before we get to more updates, I'm just good, because I keep forgetting to say what we've been watching lately. I finished 9 Perfect Strangers. No. If I could have all 7 hours back, and I love Nicole Kidman, and I love Melissa McCarthy was the best thing in it, and that dude, whoever that dude was, he was great. Everybody was great. But the story was just...
ridiculous.
Well, you know who would like it? Ron, because he would take psychedelics. No problem.
Right.
Yeah, we'd have no problem doing that and think that, it's worth the trip. I would be out of my brain. I would not do that.
Kelly McFarlane told you to.
Kelly McFarlane and I 99.9% of the time agree. And Kelly, if you're listening, I'm splitting with you on this one. It did get better. She promised me it would get better,
right.
And it did. But was it worth the haul? Ixnay. I liked White Lotus better. Tell you what I did love, though, and I do love season 2 of Wu-Tang Clan.
Yes. So good.
I tried to get Ron to watch it when he was here for like 5 days, and he's like, I just don't know if this is a story I'd have any interest in how it even happened. I said, well, give it a chance. He goes, I don't believe I know any rap songs at all. I said, so it's not about the rap songs. It's about the people. I couldn't drag him into my my little web of Wu-Tang. And the actors are so good, you forget they're actors. I just think they're actually the Wu-Tang people. I had to Google who are the Wu-Tang people. Because I thought, is this the... No, I know Method Man. I remember all that. Especially my younger brother used to sneak all that on cassette tapes. I busted in his backpack. I'm like, what you got in there, Pat? Oh, nothing. I go, I don't believe that. I think I see too. He was like sneaking Snoop Dogg in Wu-Tang back in the day. Because it had bad words, so he knew he'd be in trouble. The other thing that I watched last night, also I've been watching a lot of football, which has taken up a lot of time because of my fantasy league. And I just want to shout out if any of those people are listening. Now I know some of you are sneaking around listening to podcasts. You are sneaking around reading fantasy football websites. Drew. That's fine, Drew. No, it's allowed. Lewis. But there's a laissez-faire attitude. Yeah, I don't even know what's going on. Yeah. And then I received this thing where I'm like, who wrote that? You should do this professionally. And they're like, oh, it's from a fantasy website.
That I paid $20 a week for.
Yeah. God, no shit. They're all into it now. Kathy, my friend, still doesn't understand 100% what we're doing, but that's all right. Neither does Dory. Here's a typical call. Sunday. Who has this piece of shit quarterback? You. Wait, what? Yeah. I gave him to you. Why'd you do that? You asked me for him. There's a button at the top that says trades, and it came in. Hey, Kathleen, will you give me Garoppolo for Tony Pollard and somebody else that's good? And Tyler Lockett. And I said, yes, Dory, I will. She goes, oh. I'm like, you people I'm barely paying attention as the pseudo commissioner. Yeah, really. Some of them, I think they are drunk. I'm like, you guys drunk on weekends because you have real jobs? Totally. Is that what's happening? Does all this happen Friday night at about midnight? Mm-hmm. All right. Here's the thing I did watch that is fascinating. And I don't know. Sometimes I think I know I'm dyslexic with numbers, but sometimes I think I can't read right or something. LuLaRoe. Yeah. LuLaRoe. It's very hard for me to get out correctly each time. It's on, I think it was on Hulu. Hold on, I can tell you.
Amazon.
What?
Amazon.
Was it? Yeah, Amazon. How did I miss this? I know how I missed it.
The documentary's LuLaRich.
The documentary is called LuLaRich.
Yeah.
One word. Yeah. LuLaRich. It's basically a pyramid scheme thing. Like selling Amway, but that one's legal. This one blurred the lines between, and it took.
Ugly tights.
And then I kept thinking, how did I miss this? I missed this whole thing. I never saw a word about it. I never heard of LuLaRoe tights. I never heard of leggings. I never heard of, but I am not a Facebook junkie. So there's a lot of moms, because like my sisters have to join all these Facebook pages because they have kids. Because I would say to my sister, why are you on all these Facebook pages? Well, you have to, or you don't know where soccer practice is, and you have to, or you don't know this, you don't know that. And I'm like, wow, now Zuckerberg's looped in. And so there's always been this, the thing I had a solution to this problem of, we have a lot of stay-at-home moms. My sister, for instance, and she's got 3 kids and they're in grade school, whatever. She would like to work somehow. She went to college and has a degree and used to have a job and all that. But then what are you going to do? You still got to be there at 3 o'clock to pick them up. So there's this whole, my thing is, especially as the recipient of customer service, how about Delta? How about Amex? How about Visa? Why don't you hire these women? They're all men, too. There's some dudes out there doing the same thing. The people that have 8 to 3 open and go, you can have 3 hours. You pick it. Right. And you work for us.
Great.
Yeah, they would do it. You got to pay them good, though, because otherwise it's not going to be worth it. But
being a latchkey kid is illegal.
These people went for that group and told them that they could. It's not funny. because a lot of the women in the documentary I thought were smart and hardworking and excited. So you hate to see bad things happen. Yeah. But the premise, anytime somebody says, work full-time, work part-time, make full-time money. Right. No, you can't. And my favorite one is always on telephone poles, and there's a number you can pull off a piece of paper if you stop the car and get out, and it says, work from home in your pajamas. Right. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to work from home in my pajamas. That one gets me every time. I'm always curious. What do I got to do? What's the situation? I don't know why pajamas are so enticing to me, but so this couple, and they're Mormony, so a lot of family, faith-based Mormony.
They're Mormon.
A lot of stuff about how the woman is supposed to be in the home and she's supposed to do this and all the things the women are supposed to do. We're just supposed to admire the men and be glad they haven't left our fat ass. That's what they're saying, right? But what's the irony is they're telling them stay at home, raise your kids, and you can do this as a little part-time thing. But the further you get into it, it becomes a full-time machine, and then that's all you do. And it's one of the pyramid schemes where I'm making money from how many people I recruit. Selling the leggings out of my closet is bringing in some cash, but how many are you going to sell? And then they're recruiting more people. So now, there's 3 LuLaRoe dealers on your street.
Right.
Well, and it's about the patterns. Fascinating documentary. And I'm not sure what happened to these people. I got to Google.
I like the designer, like a kid.
Yeah, there's a woman, a young woman in there who's an artist, and she has to design the patterns because that was part of their thing. And to me, every pattern I saw, no, don't do it.
It looks like a migraine.
It looked like an Easter basket threw up. Like everything. It also looked juvenile. But sometimes the Mormony thing can be a little, don't be a modern woman.
Who doesn't want Kermit leggings?
Like, I would feel stupid at this age walking around with baby owls all over me. I'm fucking weird. Like, what are you doing? I mean, I don't know. Now, some of them did look okay if they had on a solid with the print. Solid black t-shirt with crazy leggings. Okay, I can do it. Little palm trees, maybe. Cocktails. But not like owls or babies or...
Palm trees.
It was so bizarre. I have to Google, though. I don't really understand. I was sad it was over because I didn't really understand. Well, are they going to... They had to pay a lot of money back because they said you couldn't send the inventory back. So let's say I'm the lady that's all jacked up about this. You had to pay $5,000 to get an order, maybe $15,000 if you were a go-getter. Yeah. Don't be a loser. No. Don't be Kathleen. No, be paddles and go all in. But if you can't sell your shit, you can't send it back. And if you can't sell it, whose fault is that? Yours. Why? Because you didn't try hard enough and you're a loser. And deep down, you don't believe in you. You don't believe in these leggings. That sounded like Lewis. It's a fascinating thing, though, because technically it is a pyramid scheme when it's based on recruitment rather than sales. The clothes are a decoy. Yeah. That's all all you had to do is watch 2 episodes and you're like, oh.
It's still in business.
It's still in business?
Yeah.
What about the page where because then all the clothes started getting gross. They were like wet and they were tearing. And then the women were like, this is bullshit. I can't sell it. And they wouldn't take it back.
It's still available.
And he's mean. Creating freedom through fashion. There's a lot of platitudes in this thing that you would see in a mall poster. Mm-hmm. Believe in you.
You can join right now.
I can join? Yeah. How much?
There's an income disclosure statement.
Oh, I have to tell them how much I make?
No, tell you what they might fuck you out of.
They tell me what they might fuck me out of. Oh my God. If you like those kind of stories, I would highly suggest. But anyway, the artist girl.
There's a get started button. No.
Oh, wow. They're still in business. Walk away, as my friend Greg Warren, the comedian, would say. Walk away.
Oh my God.
There's an artist girl in there, though, with this great flippant attitude. Because you can tell she's really smart. And she's just like...
She didn't want to be a bartender.
She didn't, they wanted us to do 100 patterns a day. Well, that's impossible. So some of the artists were taking Google images, and if you just changed it 20%, they counted that as a new image, which is complete horseshit. Right. And whatever. But she was my favorite one. And I really did feel bad for a lot of the women because the ones that got in the beginning did make a lot of money. It's like anything, pyramid deal. Yeah, but then I think was Tupperware like that? Like were my mom and her friends in on something? I don't know the details. I don't Mary Kay. Those things where they're trying to get housewives to sell shit out of their house to other housewives.
We'll research it. Next
We'll research. I will. But I do like Tupperware. Just throwing it out there. They didn't have it back then. We used to throw shit in bags. And then these cool little plastic things. Came really, do you have Tupperware? My Aunt Nan got some. It's very fancy.
Now you have the Yeti.
Anyway, so that's on Amazon. If you like those kind of stories, it's great. And they're unbelievable, the leaders. And the parties, they had Katy Perry once.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
The whole family's in.
The whole family's in on it because it's a giant Mormon family. There's like 900 of them that are directly related and employed somehow. Okay. Mormony, you know, because there's a Mormon couple in there that says the whole thing is bullshit.
Right.
So it's not all Mormons.
They're cool Mormons.
They were very cool. I'm like, are you still a Mormon? Because I'm not feeling it. Did you kind of leave quietly? Because you guys seem like a shitload of fun, and the others I'm seeing interviewed don't. Okay, back to updates. Despite the pardons, the St. Louis gun-toting couple, the one where the lady was dressed like the Hamburglar with mustard all over her, and his pants were too tight, and so it was a shirt from 1984, as they held their tiny little gun against the protest with women and kids. And despite the pardons, because the governor of Missouri, he pardoned them. Yeah. Not a fan. No. The McCloskey's law licenses are in jeopardy.
Is that the only reason why?
Well, here's the thing. The governor can pardon you all he wants, but you still have to face the Bar Association of whatever state you're in. Yeah. After pleading guilty to misdemeanors in June, Mark and Patricia McCloskey, they became Halloween costumes. You know you've jumped a shark when you're a Halloween costume. Right. Everybody in Missouri dressed like these two. Here's the picture of them. Can you see it? She has on a black and white striped Hamburglar shirt, and he just looks like a dude who really needs to lose 10 pounds or get different clothes. They enjoyed the promised pardon from Missouri's governors, but that hasn't stopped the state's legal disciplinary official from recommending suspensions of their law licenses for the actions that put them in the public eye. The McCloskeys, both attorneys, now facing legal proceedings that could end in disciplinary actions. The process was initiated by Missouri's chief disciplinary counsel, Alan D. Pratzel, who in court filings last week cited the couple's guilty pleas and statements earlier this summer as support for suspending their law licenses. They pleaded guilty almost exactly 1 year after the two lawyers became national icons for a Republican Party still in the throes of the 2020 election cycle. They would later claim that they were fear of imminent harm. No one was armed, just them.
Right.
That claim would ultimately fail to sway a special prosecutor found there was no evidence that the protesters had weapons and that the crowd had peacefully exited the neighborhood. As part of the deal, they pleaded guilty to assault in the 4th degree, while his wife pleaded guilty to 2nd-degree harassment. Both agreed to pay fines and relinquish the firearms used in the incident. But I believe they were bought back. I'm not sure about that, but I think I read that. Those convictions were wiped out by Governor Mike Parsons' pardon. The law licenses are still in jeopardy, and legal filings first reported by Kansas City affiliate blah, blah, blah. They showed indifference to public safety. Yeah. And involved moral turpitude. I don't even know that. I know what that is. The recommendation that the two would be allowed to apply. If they get suspended, they can apply later in 6 months. They won't. They won't care. Well, it doesn't mean it'll be granted, but they won't care. But anyway, that's the latest on them. It's not over for them, but they're in commercials now. They're on Fox News every 5 seconds. Like they'll be at CPAC and all that stuff. They found their little nook. Update. You're
Why are you looking at me like that?
You're gonna hate it. No, it's getting good. What we learned this week in the trial of Elizabeth Holmes. I'm doing the Lord's work here for people that don't have time to listen to the Dropout. People have jobs and children and lives. I'm just truncating it.
I appreciate that.
Thank you. One of the most potentially damning testimonies came on Tuesday when listen to this shit, nurse practitioner Audra Zachman and then her patient Brittany Gould took the stand. Zachman, who works at an OBGYN practice in Phoenix, testified she requested a hormone test to help track the progress of Gould's pregnancy. I encouraged her to go to Theranos, Zachman said, adding the test required multiple blood draws. And if it was an opportunity to be less invasive, that was enticing.
Okay.
I can't see. I don't know about that.
No.
This woman previously had 3 miscarriages. Okay, so let's not send her to the newfangled thing at Walgreens that we're not sure if it works.
Send her to a doctor.
Right. And Theranos' test indicated she might yet, so she took the test, and it said she might yet suffer a threatened abortion or potentially complete loss of the pregnancy. But additional test results from a Theranos competitor indicated that she was fine, and she subsequently carried the baby to term and gave the birth without any issues. It was a little confusing, but see, they're not allowed to talk about what happened to their emotions.
That's not okay.
Well, I think we can all, if you're told you're having your 4th miscarriage by some machine at Walgreens,
Right.
a lot of people wouldn't just calm down. You'd go crazy. Right. Yeah, that'd be normal. Yeah. So that lady took the stand. Also, James Mathis, former U.S. Secretary of Defense and 4-star general, recounted how he lost confidence. He's an investor. Notice, though, all the investor guys are like over 80 white dudes, and I just think they thought she was hot. I really do. Yeah. I don't know if they'd have given the money to a dude like that. For once, it's kind of flipped. Right. Because she comes in, and she's blonde, and she's tall, and she's skinny. They never asked for any proof. Nothing. They asked for fucking nothing. All you need is one person, and then you wheel it, and that's what she was good at. He was a high-profile witness. He took the stand. It also included Rupert Murdoch. How old's Rupert? 90. Henry Kissinger?
Yep.
90.
92.
I think they thought it was like their granddaughter. Mm-hmm. At a certain point, he said he didn't know what to believe about Theranos anymore. I couldn't see why we were being surprised by such fundamental issues. Then they went into her cell phone. If you won't ever think about committing a crime, just remember that whatever you've texted might come up on a big screen somewhere. And then you have to think to yourself, do you want all your texts read out loud?
No.
Most of mine are nonsensical. I probably wouldn't care, but, you never know. Some of the texts were read and displayed in court. They indicated that Holmes and Balwani's awareness of the issues, Theranos, so they knew. Normandy Lab is a disaster. We'll work on fixing this, read it. That's from the guy, Sonny Balwani, referring to one of Theranos' testing facilities. He said it's a disaster zone. Right. We're going to try and fix it. Fundamentally, we need to stop fighting fires by not creating them. Need to fix the root cause here. But meanwhile, they're out telling everybody it's fine, and they're raising money and Also, Betsy DeVos, she gave money.
She got screwed.
Yeah.
I love it.
Probably, yeah.
Suck it, Betsy.
And then a rushed launch. That's something else they talked about. The launch was completely, this is crazy. Rosendorf was a lab director, and he was saying he didn't have confidence in anything. And he said, I came to believe that the company believed more about PR and fundraising than about patient care. Yeah, zoinks. Yeah, yeah. The platform was not allowing me to function effectively as a lab director. When interviewing for the job, Rosendorf said he was impressed by the earnestness and dedication in Holmes and Balwani, believing the company could be the next Apple. Everybody's just looking for the next Apple.
Yes.
And you know what? Apple comes along once every 100 years.
Right.
There's not a new Apple every goddamn 5 minutes.
Nope.
People...
We couldn't take it.
No. No, then I just feel like I lost more stock I never bought. Mm-hmm.
Krispy Kreme.
He described the events leading up to the launch in 2013 as extremely rushed and hurried. He expressed his concerns about inaccurate test results and the desire to push back the launch date to Holmes in her office. He said Holmes was clearly nervous, but not surprised by the issues. She was trembling a little bit. Her knee was tapping. Her voice was breaking up. You mean this voice that she created?
Right.
You mean this one? She pushed for the launch and told them that rather than using Theranos technology, they would use conventional analyzers. So they're lying to people. They'd bring in an empty box, this black box. It had nothing inside of it.
No.
And then they'd act like it did, and then they'd run out and take the blood to an actual place that already existed. And then the trial will read. She also texted this. She texted that she's the best business person of the year. She texted that to her boyfriend. Wow. My new life as of this night and forevermore. Total confidence in myself. Best business person of the year. Focus, details, excellence. Don't give what anyone thinks. I think she meant a shit. Yeah. Engage employees in meetings by stories and making it about them, i.e., prepare well. Okay, crazy legs.
She could have got all those statements at Hobby Lobby.
Well, then there was like a love. This is where they put up the sexy text.
Oh man.
But these are cheesy. They're not even sexy. This is between Elizabeth Holmes and Sunny Balwani, and they put this up on the big screen in the trial. Elizabeth wrote, "You are a breeze in the desert for me." He didn't answer. She wrote, "My water." He didn't answer. "An ocean." He didn't answer. "Meant to be only together, tiger." No emoji. I'd have to put a tiger.
No phone.
Right. And then he wrote back, "Okay." Oh my God. Do you not see he doesn't love you? Okay, I'll be your tiger.
Did you get my spreadsheets about the blood withdrawals?
Wow. Yeah. That's all great. But we don't have anything that works right now, and we're selling it.
We're about to go to jail.
Update. This is probably be the last one of the Nexium thing with Keith Raniere. No. It's the end. Everybody needs to know an ending. That's what life is about. Beginning, middle, end.
It's over.
Well, but it's not. It is now. Because Nancy Saltzman, and she was the one, if you watch the show, she's the number 2. She was sentenced to 3.5 years in prison.
She deserves it.
She's 66.
She needs a death penalty.
You get out for your 70th birthday. Maybe sooner. Yeah. Yeah. She said that she understands everything. She put herself there. She was evil as shit if you watch that thing. Yep. But she cooperated. You know, they want to get him more than anything else. Mm-hmm. She played a role in attempting to intimidate, investigate perceived critics of Raniere, which helped create a climate of fear within the organizations. Yep. Not only did she facilitate the environment for abuse, she provided an even worse environment for victims to heal. Yep. That's it, though. You can go watch that show. All the crap she did. 3.5 years, and you'll get out in 2. Now, it sucks if tomorrow I was told I'm going to prison for 2 years. That kind of sucks. But you can get through it.
We can do the podcast, though.
Do you think they'd let me do a podcast? Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah. Have a little different look, but, you know.
Yeah. Well, I look okay in that kind of orange.
Yeah.
It's better than red.
This is battle.
Better than pink.
8 cardboard cutouts.
Moving on to news. This, if you've seen my act, which I will be taking to Chicago, and Green Bay, and Milwaukee, and so on and so. Those are the ones coming up. But I talk about how we really need term limits, and we need to put age limits on people running that are governing us. Yes. And you can call me ageist, you can call me, and I have all kinds of jokes about it. I'm not going to do those jokes on the Pubcast. You have to come see my live skit for that. However, Chuck Grassley from Iowa, he announced, now, Chuck Grassley is the one who talks like this, and he was in the Brett Kavanaugh hearing, and he was so hard of hearing, he had to have an intern sit on the floor. They didn't even get a chair next to him, and then, like, Brett Kavanaugh would answer something, he'd go, "Now, what did he say? What did he say?" And then the kid would be like, "He said he likes beer. Beer. You know, Bud Light, Busch Light." Chuck Grassley, him and Dianne Feinstein were in charge of that hearing. They were 87 apiece. What are we doing?
Right, we're not.
No.
Nope.
He said on Friday he's running in 2022, announcing his plan to hold a series of public events over the weekend to spearhead his pursuit for an 8th term in the Senate. Now, here's what's crazy. I met 2 termites at a show in Delaware, an outdoor show in Delaware, 2 young female termites that had the ranch shirts on. And I'm like, okay, I should,
Ray gun shirt.
the Ray Gun, yeah, from Ray Gun in Des Moines. They make really funny shirts, t-shirts. Anyway, I asked them, but they're young. Right. I'm like, who's still voting for Chuck Grassley? And they just rolled their eyes. They're like, oh, people in Western Iowa. And now I'm from Missouri, so I understand what the Western Iowa part means. That wouldn't mean anything to the general public. It means more of the farming people. Right. I took it to mean anyway.
The corn people.
He announced it on Twitter, which, by the way, follow him on Twitter because he posts shit that makes no sense. He talks about dead pigeons in his driveway and, like, dodging deer. You know what? I think he thinks that he's voice texting like a friend. Yeah, something is wrong. He is not. He's not. He's not typing all that. Yeah. Here's what he tweeted this. It's 4 a.m. in Iowa, so I'm running. I do that 6 days a week before I start the day. I want you to know that what Barbara and I have decided. I'm running for re-election and a lot more to do for Iowa. We will ask for your support. He will be 95 if he's like trying to challenge Strom Thurmond's record, who I think quit when might have died in his desk when he was like 108. He will be 95 if he were to win and finish it. I can't. No. And then people go, well, if that's what people want, well, you don't always give the general public what they want. You just don't. Sometimes you got to leapfrog them and go, this is idiotic.
He was 100.
Strom was 100.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Turned 100. Then he died. Yeah. Wow. No, 101.
Yeah, 101.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah. He was actually
on the Senate's website.
He was actually in the Civil War. That's why he's still mad about it. Now, I remember when we tried to attack Pittsburgh. Shut up.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, that's the thing. When they're that old, too, their grudges go back so far, there's no fixing it.
He's a featured biography. That's the problem.
God.
They got something to look forward to.
This made me laugh really hard. And I don't care. Comedians, we don't write corporate emails.
No, you don't.
Yet. we write very plain, simple, usually aggressive emails that just say, fuck that shit, I'm not doing it. Thanks.
Peace out.
When I see corporate emails, I'm like, oh my God, who talks like this? It's just formality. Nobody's being honest. At least we're honest.
Yeah, you are.
You're a dumb motherfucker. Don't ever email me again. Like, that's the stuff we'll write. And I found that perfectly normal. Till, like, my siblings got corporate jobs, and I'd see all these emails coming. I'm like, who wrote that? Not one of my siblings. As it turns out, they did.
Fuck you and your bounce check.
Yeah. I'm never working for that cheap bastard again. Sign off on that. We get mean. It's just to the point. We're not mean.
It's direct.
Made up my mind. It's to the point. It's direct. There's nothing that can be misconstrued. Avoid these 5 phrases that make you sound passive-aggressive. And here's how successful people communicate. Are you listening, all comedians? Here's what's crazy. This is what made me laugh so hard.
Wow.
Let's take a look at 5 common phrases employees use that actually make them passive-aggressive and petty. Here's what's crazy. I'm going to read you the ones that they think is aggressive, and then they fix it, okay?
Ready.
We don't even use the first one that's aggressive. Ours are way worse than this.
Well, you can do the comedian version.
I'll do the comedian version.
Yeah.
Okay, number 1. The passive-aggressive and petty version is, per my last email.
Yeah.
What this actually means is you didn't really read what I wrote. Pay attention this time.
Motherfucker.
Right. What mine would say was, hey, dipshit, refer below. My fingers are tired. I don't have time for you all day.
Thanks,
What?
Kathleen.
Thank you. Cato.
Yeah, it's content.
El Cato is tired of El Typingo. Ron doesn't even do email. I mean, you get to that level of fame, you don't even have to email people. He just talks into his phone, shit happens. Number 2. How many people have written this? For future reference, what it actually means is, let me correct your blatant, quote, mistake that you already knew was wrong. See, I think the second ones are worse.
Yeah.
I see what they're saying, but
It's in layman's terms.
see, I wouldn't even bother for future reference.
No.
Because I'd say, you fucked that up and you knew it.
See?
But if somebody sent me that, it'd be, you're right. Like, we don't talk, we have an agreed upon way of communication that does not involve human resources. You are allowed to insult people.
Which is why a lot of your emails go to their spam box.
Why? Because they say bad things?
Yes.
They go to spam?
You can't say fuck on a corporate email.
Well, I'm not in a corporation.
They are. You work with people in corporations.
They receive them. I know they do. They're getting through. Mine are getting through. Number 3. Oh, this is so... Oh. Bumping this to the top of your inbox, ... What it actually means is, you're my boss or employee. This is the 3rd time I've asked you. I need you to get this shit done.
True.
No, instead of bumping this to the top of your inbox, I'd go, last call, mofo. Read it or weep. Well, my way works.
Yeah.
Last call, mofo? Come on, who's not going to open that? Number 4. Just to be sure we're on the same page. What this actually means is, I'm going to cover my ass here and make sure that everyone who refers to this email in the future knows what I was doing, that I was right all along.
Yeah.
Circling back, that's another one. Just to be sure we're on the same page. I remember one, I saw a comedy special. Well, I didn't want to see a comedy special, but I came home on a Sunday and people told me that there was a certain person on Comedy Central doing a bunch of my jokes from 2 specials before. And said person clearly had a couple writers that clearly went back mining old specials and then tweaked them out and threw them back in. And I did not contact said person. I contacted said person's manager and agent and
Yeah, you're a lawyer.
said, tell your client to stop stealing my shit. I don't care whose shit is stolen, but if it's mine again, it's going to get weird. Go steal somebody else's. Yeah.
There you go.
That's how it went.
Happy Sunday.
Just to be sure we're on the same page, though. Okay. Here's number 5. Going forward. Moving forward. What it actually means is, do not ever do that again. I think what it means is we're never going to speak of what happened. We're done. You argue too much. You're too combative. And once you get one of these, moving forward, ooh, not good. The right way to express what you mean. Want to see if you have the patience for this? Here are 4 things successful communicators do. 1, don't respond to messages or emails when you're angry or frustrated. I don't care. That's when I'm in my glory.
When you're a little more direct.
I've never regretted one.
I know.
Never. This prevents miscommunication, wasted time, and regret. Nope, and nope. If you feel emotionally hijacked, nope. No. Save your email as a draft and revise it and send it when you're in a better mood. No. Because it's not going to convey my actual emotion, which needs to get through. If it doesn't get caught up in spam. Apparently a lot of my things have gone to spam. Maybe it's a good thing. I don't know. Number two, assume good intent. I don't know.
I don't know about that.
Instead of calling someone out for screwing up, step into their shoes and ask yourself, why are some of the reasons they might have made this mistake? It's better to people exactly what they need to take action. That sentence is wrong. Sometimes just add a quick brief so that they know they don't have to go back and read through previous emails and writing, here's what I need from you, or here are the open dates again is helpful. I'm not assuming good intent.
No. You shouldn't.
No. Show empathy and encouragement. Replace imperative words like do this with conditional phrases like could you do this? When delivering feedback, begin your message by expressing appreciation like thank you for X, excellent job on X. See, this is where comedians will go, we don't need to be babied. You don't need to tell me all the good things I've done. I know what I've done. I know what I've done good, and if I completely mess up, just eat it and then move on. This is always so much babying. I do think you should say, could you do this instead of do this. I don't ever tell anybody that I pay.
You're nice to me.
Do this, do that. I say, hey, man, if you have time, or could you, or when you. That's just manners, though.
Hey, Paddles, do me a solid.
Hey, Paddles.
Yeah.
Could you put that in the show notes? But see, I don't even say that. I go, Paddles, show notes.
Yeah.
Right. If your boss or even a client sends you a passive-aggressive email, fight that urge to send them an even more petty reply. No. Don't fight it. Do it.
Right.
I should never be in charge of a corporate thing. I'm gonna go give my speeches on the road against those life coach people. And then I'm gonna pull out every comedian email I've ever gotten. That man is a prick. Don't work there. Okay, thanks. Beers soon. God damn. If your boss or client, lowering your actions down to their level will only escalate tension and increase anxiety. Not on my part.
No, you're good.
But this is 30 years of being a comedian. We work amongst ourselves, really. Avoid digital ghosting. Need to get back to someone? Here's a quick guide to remember. If you can answer in 67 seconds or less, respond immediately. If it's urgent, respond immediately or let the center know you're working on it. Make an appointment with yourself on your calendar. I don't have a calendar. Who has calendars?
Calendar, you know barely where your flight.
Ryan has an iCalendar because he doesn't know where he's at. And he has people that put where he's at, and then he can look at his phone and go, "Oh, I'm going to Maryland." But I am more involved. Let's say, Senor Blanco. If it's a matter lacking urgency, don't stress. Block out time and follow up at your convenience. Yeah. So there you go. I think we covered. So if you're in corporate America, I just told you how to don't be an aggressive ape in your email. I don't agree with it, but I think corporate America is too full of all that. But I do understand that human resources is an issue, and we don't have it.
You don't.
No, we do not. So I do a joke in my act lately that I was watching an Ozark thing on CNN. They were interviewing people in the Ozarks that won't get vaccinated. And one person after the next. The reporter lady was probably there for a week. A week she'll never forget of her life, I'm sure. Although the diner they were in did look delicious. Except everybody in there probably has COVID. They are COVID. And one guy said he thought Jesus would protect him. And then he just said his wife died of COVID. So I guess Jesus didn't. Yeah. But the reporter girl can't say that, right? But so the one lady in the town, she did like the vaccination idea. And she's like, I just don't know how we can trick the rural folks into getting vaccinated. I'm like, I do. Put it in Mountain Dew. Right? Full sugar, not diet. We ain't drinking no diet Mountain Dew down here. You just take that chemical-ridden bullshit out of here and bring me a real Mountain Dew with real white sugar.
Sugar cane.
But so clearly I'm joking. Remember Mike Flynn, the general that went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? Mm-hmm. He's telling people he's a big QAnon guy now, and he only gets interviewed on the crazy cuckoo channels. Like, I don't even know if Fox has him anymore. He took QAnon oaths, and he says President Trump was sent by God to expose a covert network of satanic cannibal pedophiles secretly controlling the United States government. These are the people that thought Hillary had sex slaves in a pizza parlor in New Jersey. Yeah. Here's the thing, folks. Let's say Hillary did want sex slaves. She doesn't need to be hiding them in a pizza parlor in New Jersey. No. She's got money. Not saying she did. Right. Just saying. This is his latest ones. He says that the government said that they're working to secretly deliver COVID-19 vaccines through salad dressing.
Wait, what?
Ranch? Are you putting in my ranch? Did I just get a booster shot by eating buttermilk Romano Ranch? Probably. I hope so. I eat it 10 times a week. Oh, yeah. He's...
For real?
Yeah. While there has been recent reporting that scientists are testing ways to produce edible mRNA vaccines through lettuce as a way to combat global vaccine shortages in the future. Wow. They are far from being approved. It definitely won't be used anytime in the next. So now he's just running around saying they're injected salad dressings, but he doesn't say what kind. As long as it's not Thousand Island, my mom is safe.
or Russian.
Russian. They eat all those. My dad will go into a restaurant. Do you have any Green Goddess? Dad, they haven't had that since 1979. I think Catalina. They're bringing back the Green Goddess, though. I think they are. And I did like Green Goddess. Like in an old-timey restaurant, yeah. I liked it. Yeah, and then he'll go, and do you have any Waverly wafers? And then my favorite is he'll look at a server that's like 18 and go, I'll have a highball tall. And the waiter's like, what? You got a whiskey and water. And then I'm like, any kind of whiskey? What is it? Canadian Club? What? Throwback. And he wants it in the tall glass. So for you young servers, highball tall, that's what that means. Now this is a dilemma. Well, first, we're going to go to something a little, this is an ethical dilemma. Okay. You will tell me what you would do, Battles. I'm ready. Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool. Okay. Just to let everyone know, this probably wasn't politically correct, but I didn't do it. But for 2 years, I went to high school in the Ozarks. Way to get ahead of that. School of the Osage. And I was an Osage Indian. Okay? That's what my T-shirt said. I didn't say I was an Indian. They did. Exactly. Clearly, by looking at me, unless it was a super white freckled Indian tribe, I was not an Indian. You're not an Indian, no. But there's all kinds of Osage Indian stuff in Missouri that is super duper cool. And my mom goes out and hunts for artifacts. She's found her and Jeff Foxworthy. My mom should have married Jeff Foxworthy. That's all they do. They spend all their free time in creek beds looking for arrowheads and then tools. My mom has found tools that ancient people used and maybe Native Americans. I don't know. There's a lot of Indian stuff, though, and Native American stuff in the state of Missouri, especially when you go south into the Ozarks. A Missouri cave with ancient Native American drawings just sold for millions. Now, well, hear it out. A Missouri cave containing Native American artwork from more than 1,000 years ago was sold at auction Tuesday, disappointing leaders of the Osage Nation who hope to buy the land to protect and preserve our most sacred site. Now, here's what's pathetic. I'm in high school running around with a T-shirt that says I'm an Osage Indian, okay? I didn't know that we still had members of the Osage Nation tribe alive. They didn't teach us that. I never met one. I didn't meet Indians, Native Americans. I keep saying Indian. I'll say Native American. I did not meet Native Americans till I went to Colorado. Honestly, if you're in the Midwest, you think they're gone. What? Yeah. Well, we don't have reservations. There's no tribal lands. It's not like out west, where because I said to my friend Rick, "Are those people Mexican?" Right. He's like, "No, they're Native Americans." I'm like, "What? We still have Native Americans?" I told my French exchange student we didn't have any. She said she wanted to see cowboys and Indians. I go, good news, bad news. I can find a cowboy. Oh my God. They do not tell us that in the Midwest. There is no education. I've learned more about Native American culture, seriously, from doing Indian casinos, and that's their word, not mine. Casinos on Native American reservations all over the country. I know about the Sioux tribe. I know about the Mohicans. I know about the Agua Caliente out in Palm Springs. I know the Sioux up in Valentine, Nebraska. I did that one. They're all over the place. Mm-hmm. Nobody taught us. I'm just saying hashtag fail, Missouri education system. Yeah,
maybe do a PSA for that.
I would. Yeah. If absolutely, for the Osage Nation, yes, I would. But they may not want some middle-aged white lady yakking, you know.
Maybe you could just give them the information.
A bidder agreed to pay $2.2 million to private owners for what's known as the Picture Cave, along with 43 hilly acres that surround it near the town of Warrenton, about 60 miles west of St. Louis. Now, that is not that far out. Right. A lot of my cousins live out there. I wonder if they're on top of something valuable. I'm going to start digging in their backyards next time we go to my cousin Maureen's house. I'm just going to start digging for shit. Hey, what are you doing there, Kathleen? We just got the sod in. Shh, quiet. I'm looking for stuff.
I lost my bottle opener.
Brian Laughlin, director of the Selkirk Auctioneers and Appraisers, the St. Louis-based firm handling the auction, said the winning bidder declined to be named. Yeah, I bet.
Right.
A St. Louis family that's owned the land since 1953 has mainly used it for hunting. Okay. Here's what I'm saying. Fine. Use it for hunting. Hunting isn't well, depending on what you hunt. It can't be. It's usually not yearly, every day, all year long. Let them have the cave for 5 ceremonial days a year.
Right.
Or let them use it when they want it. So they send an email, not in corporate language. Hey, fucktard, we want our cave on May 5th. Thanks.
We're taking cave bookings.
Yeah, let them have it. It's there. Listen to what's in it, though. This is what's crazy. The cave was a site of sacred rituals and burying of the dead. So it's their cemetery, too.
Okay, well, that's important.
It's important.
Yeah.
It also has more than 290 prehistoric glyphs or hieroglyphic symbols used to represent sound or meanings, making it the largest collection of indigenous peoples' polychrome paintings in Missouri. That's a big deal. That's exactly why Carol Diaz Grandos opposed the sale. She and her husband, James Duncan, spent 20 years researching the cave and wrote a book about it. Duncan is a scholar in Osage oral history, and Diaz Grandos is a research associate at the Anthropology Department of Washington University in St. Louis. Probably the smartest school I'm aware of, other than Ivy League things. So this lady is super duper smart. Auctioning off a sacred American Indian site truly sends the wrong message. It's like auctioning off the Sistine Chapel. The Osage Nation, in a statement, called the sale truly heartbreaking. Our ancestors lived in this area for 1,300 years, the statement read. This was our land. We have hundreds of thousands of our ancestors buried throughout Missouri and Illinois, including Picture Cave. The cave, you should see, we'll put it in the show notes. The drawings, this is what separates it and differentiates it from a lot of other caves. The cave features drawings of people, animals, birds, and mythical creatures. Diaz Grandos said, various depictions of a mythical being, the artist created a white figure by scraping off brown sandstone. She said the intricate details set the Missouri cave apart from other sites with ancient drawings. You get stick figures in other rock art sites, or maybe one little feather on top of the head or a figure holding a weapon. But in Picture Cave, you actually get clothing details, headdress details, feathers, weapons. It's truly amazing. Oh, wow. Yeah. Years ago, analytical chemists from Texas A&M used pigment samples to determine that the drawings were at least 1,000 years old. The cave has other history, too. European explorers visited in the 1700s and wrote the ship's captain's name and names of some of the crew members on the wall. It's also the year-round home to the endangered Indiana gray bats.
What?
Well, why don't we take them back to Indiana?
Indiana gray bats. Googling them.
No idea. There are plenty of reasons to believe that the cave will remain protected and respected. They vetted the potential buyers. And also, there's the law. Missouri Revised Statute 194.410 states that any person or entity who knowingly disturbs, destroys, or vandalizes or damages a marked or unmarked human burial site commits a Class D felony. Well, that's not harsh enough.
No.
Class D felony.
Right. No.
The statute also makes it a felony to profit from cultural items obtained on the site. Okay, that's good, but they'll do it anyway if they want to. Finally, there's the location. You can't take a vehicle and just drive up to the cave. You actually have to trek through the woods to higher ground and enter through a 3-foot by 3-foot opening.
That's a little tiny.
I'd be scared.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd do it.
No.
I'd make one of my nieces or nephews that are small. You go in and take some pictures for a cat. Here's a brand new iPhone. Takes great pictures. Bring some pictures back.
Enjoy.
I'll be here with a beer. If a rock falls down and blocks the entrance, I'll make sure I get it out. Diaz Grandos is holding out hope that the new owner will donate it to the Osage Nation. That's their cave. That's their sacred shrine, and it should go back to them. I agree.
Yes.
Or just, call them up, have a nice little chat, and tell them they can use it for ceremonial things.
Yeah,
If they want to, what are they going to do? They're not going to cause any problems. No. I never even heard of Picture Cave. Apparently, it's right by my cousin Maureen's house. Nobody told me.
It's in her house.
And I was an Osage Indian. Speaking of crazy things of that nature, you know how I hate Mark Zuckerberg.
No. Really?
I know. And I've cussed a lot this time, or I'd call him what I usually call him. I'm going to try to reel it in at the end. Facebook and Instagram threatened with a ban from iPhone after secret slave market uncovered on apps.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They're selling people. Not leggings.
Not leggings.
People.
Okay.
Not a subject to be laughed at.
No.
Human trafficking. The discovery led to warnings from Apple that it would remove Facebook and Instagram from the App Store unless it stamped out the practice. The fracas. Who puts that in type? The fracas began in 2019 after the BBC reported that human traffickers in the Middle East were using Facebook apps to arrange sale of victims. There's no controlling this guy.
No.
Duh. God. And then there's the naive people who don't really understand the depths of what's going on Facebook, i.e. Jack and Vicky Madigan.
Right.
They'll probably be sold, and I won't even know where they went.
Nope. All stars.
Hashtags used by users in Saudi Arabia and Kuwait featured advertisements for the illegal buying and selling of domestic slaves against their will. Women were sold for a few $1,000s each, categorized by race and deprived of their basic human rights. They were unable to leave. In response to the investigation, Apple told Facebook that it would ban its products unless action was taken. The threat was recently unearthed in an internal Facebook document seen by the Wall Street Journal. The documents show that Facebook knew about it and had been investigating human trafficking rings on its apps since before the BBC report. But, they always say we're aware, we're looking into it. But they don't do anything till it becomes public, and they have to.
Right.
According to the Journal, Facebook took limited action to take down the offending posts and accounts until Apple issued its threat. Right.
Great.
A Facebook researchers wrote in a report 2008. What was this issue known to Facebook before the BCB inquiry and Apple escalation? Next paragraph begins. Yeah. Document familiar suggested that Facebook should use a light touch with Arabic language warnings about human trafficking. Yeah. The file suggested that the warnings should avoid alienating buyers, meaning the purchaser of domestic workers on Facebook's products.
Right. Okay.
Often those contracts put people in situations akin to slavery. A Facebook person said the company prohibits human exploitation in knowing something turns, except for the app we got going.
Right, there's that.
Except for that.
Sorry about that.
Hashtag hot house slave. God.
Wow.
Our goal remains to prevent anyone who seeks to exploit others from having a home on our platform.
Fuck off.
Oh my God.
You write that corporate email.
I'll write that corporate email. It's coming from comedian headquarters. Yeah, here's what the comedians have to say about that. Sleazy piece of shit. That would be the, what do you call it, the subject line. Hey, you sleazy piece of shit. He's selling people.
Best regards.
Oh, we didn't know. Sorry about that. This was crazy. This was a big story. A lot of you may have seen it. I'm not really sure what it means, but it's really interesting. 23,000-year-old footprints in New Mexico could shed light on when humans arrived on the continent. Fossilized footprints discovered in New Mexico indicate that early humans were walking across North America around 23,000 years ago. The first footprints found in a dry lake bed in White Sands National Park in 2009. Now, yep. But here's the thing. Because they thought, before this, they thought it was 13,000 years ago. Mm-hmm. That's when they thought humans were here.
Right.
13,000. Now it's 23,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's a 10,000. I'm not good
What's
at
your math?
I'm not good at math. But I can do even Steven things. 23 minus 13, I got you. The findings may shed light on a mystery that's long intrigued science. When did the people first arrive in the Americas after dispersing from Africa and Asia? Most scientists believe ancient migration came by way of now submerged land bridge that connected Asia to Alaska. Well, according to Sarah Palin, it's still there because she can see Russia from her house in Anchorage.
It's right there.
Well, I mean, I thought that was Russia. What's the difference? Shut up.
It's Kodiak.
Yeah, God, it's Kodiak. No shit. You see that giant bear? It's not Russian. It's American. That's why he has his Go USA shirt on. Based on various evidence, including stone tools, fossil bones, and genetic analysis, other researchers have offered a range of possible dates for human arrivals in the America from 13,000 years ago or more. The study provides a more solid baseline for when humans definitely were in North America, although they could have arrived even earlier. Fossil footprints are more indisputable and direct evidence than cultural artifacts, modified bones, or more conventional fossils. Based on the size of the footprints, researchers believe that at least some of them were made by children and teenagers who lived during the last ice age. Oh, I'm glad I wasn't a kid then.
No.
God, I thought Missouri was cold. The park's research manager spotted the first footprints in ancient wetlands in 2009. He and others found more in the park over years. We knew they were old, but we had no way to date the prints before we discovered some with seeds on top. Made of fine silt and clay, the footprints are fragile, so the researchers had to work quickly to gather samples. The only way we can save them is to record them, to take a lot of photos and make 3D models.
Oh.
Yeah, earlier excavations in the White Sands National Park have uncovered fossilized tracks left by a saber-toothed cat, dire wolf, a Columbian mammoth, and other Ice Age animals. So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
See, like, what isn't that making on the news?
That's
I don't
science.
understand. Right, like,
That's science. You love it.
no, I like anthropology stuff, not the store. Well, I do like their
That'd be
pants.
weird.
I like their pants. Archaeological things, history. That's, to me, that's history, not science.
Okay.
Just saying.
Fair enough.
Fair enough? Okay.
Splitting hairs.
Here's what I'm signing off on.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. A couple, I'll save those.
Briney Mary.
Well, I think a lot of you know by now that I'm a big believer. I'm not obsessed, and I don't go down rabbit holes.
Bigfoot.
Yes, I definitely think there could be a Bigfoot,
Aliens.
or definitely there's aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wish they'd hurry up.
Yeah, it's getting
When although if one was out in my front yard, a ship, I'd be like, "Fuck!"
weird. You call on.
I'd go down and get in the boat, thinking they couldn't catch me. I think you probably could catch me in a 23-foot chaparral. I don't know what I know I would be scared, but if they're nice, it'd be great if they could hurry up because we need some organization down here by smarter people. I don't care if you're little and ugly and bald. Get your ass over here. Little green, ugly, bald thing. Loch Ness monster spotted again, this time on drone footage. Now,
Yeah.
I have been to Loch Ness because when my friend Lewis had a birthday, he decided he wanted. I didn't even bring it up because secretly I've always wanted to do it, but I didn't want to pay for it.
There you go. Give it time.
Well, I'd rather go to Ireland than Scotland, truth be told. I like Scotland too, but I always end up back in Ireland. But if somebody else plans a trip, I'd be more than excited to go. And we flew to Inverness, which is at the top, and then you take this little boat.
Home of the unicorn.
It is home of the unicorn. They have the greatest statue. There's, oh my God, their city center. It's this gold thing. And then there's this giant unicorn at the top, and you just go, it's like you've gone into Harry Potter Wonderland or something.
Or better.
Better. And then the boat goes through, there's all these lakes in you're in the Scottish Highlands, and it goes through, I don't remember the other two lakes, but one is Loch Ness, and it's the biggest.
Yep.
And I don't think I ever slept. I just sat out on the front of the boat looking for the Loch Ness monster. And then it got a little dark and it got a little chilly. And yeah, I just sat there with a beer thinking, and when it comes up,
Checkweiser.
I'm ready. That's the beer they had too. Not Budweiser, Checkweiser. And it was in a green bottle. It was delicious. But I had my phone ready. This galaxy is going to capture some glory. Here's the thing about Loch Ness that they never tell Americans. Or I don't know anybody else, but the Scottish people could. It's so windy many, many days that the waves create a lot of optical illusions. And this is from someone who believes there is a Loch Ness monster. I think it's a giant eel. I think it swims in and out. And I've seen a lot of documentaries that go, it's impossible, and I don't disagree with that either. Right. But too many people that have nothing to gain, especially back in the day. Matter of fact, if you said you saw shit like that, they'd throw you in the loony bin. You didn't go viral. No. You didn't make money on YouTube. They were like, hey, did you hear what batshit Kathleen said down the road? Right. You know, and now I'm the batshit Kathleen in town. Right. And those people had a lot to risk by saying that. So I don't know why they would all. So you guys got to go look at this drone footage. Put it in the show notes. I've watched it like 100 times. So this is what happened. An outdoorsman paddling through Scotland's Loch Ness for a long-distance charity canoe trip may have inadvertently captured drone footage of the fabled Loch Ness Monster. Now, also, I was talking to a guy from Wisconsin today, some interview I was doing, this guy, John. He's like, yeah, I don't know why they just don't ask a bunch of Midwesterners to come over with our fish finders. I'm like, we could. We could, but they did a high-tech version of that. I watched the whole special, and they came up with nothing. And there ain't much down there at all. Yeah, there's not even like, and that's why I thought maybe there isn't a Loch Ness Monster, because there's not enough food for it to eat. But what if it's leaving? It's going through the locks. True. And then coming back. Just a thought. Anyway, he may have inadvertently captured drone footage of the fabled Loch Ness Monster. The more I watch, I think, crikey, Richard Maver told the Daily Record. There really wasn't anything in the area that it could be. The video image was taken last month of a long, thin form just underneath the water surface that was so fleeting, Maver didn't notice it when he posted it on September 1st. He created 2 lengthy videos to chronicle a 4-day, 62-mile paddling expedition for his YouTube channel, Richard Outdoors. Well, now I want to go see his thing. I think that lake could be hard to paddle, though, when the wind kicks up. It ain't messing around. No. Yeah. No, that's what I've heard. It's not. It has to be a very flat day, no wind, and then it'd be wonderful. It's beautiful. On day 3, when the group pulled their canoes up on the south shore of the Loch Ness for the night, he sent a camera-equipped drone aloft to capture a shot of the group. As the camera zoomed in, an outline of the creature nearly twice the length of the beach watercraft appeared to approach the group while floating beneath the lake's rippling waves. A week later, commentator Steve Bates called the image to Maver's attention. 4 minutes water's edge, the ripples look like Nessie. Must be a trick of the light or the waves. But after looking at his footage more closely, he became convinced otherwise. I had to rewind the footage several times, he said Thursday. I don't know what it is, but it certainly has the same shape as previous sightings of Nessie, which it definitely does. There was no driftwood or anything like that, so who knows? Reports of a mysterious monster in the depths of the lake date back hundreds of years, with the earliest claims made in the 6th century. Now, back in the 6th century, if you said shit like that, there's a good chance they'd just kill you. Yeah. Because they'd say you're batshit, and we can't have that in the gene pool. No, Cray Bob has got to go. He's seeing monsters. Boom. Bye-bye. And the shape captured by Maver's camera bore an uncanny resemblance to a plesiosaur. Right. A sea creature from the dinosaur-dominated Mesozoic era. Can't say they did it. Has been long associated with the elusive Nessie. So, there you have it, termites. Are you interested? Go look at the video. Yeah. Show notes, paddles, put it in. Tell me what you think on the YouTube channel. That's where I go read everything. Sometimes I answer, but sometimes I'm busy and I can't. Because then I feel like, honestly, this is where the Catholic part comes in. If I answer one person, I have to answer everybody. Or everybody else will go, well, goddamn, why'd she only answer that one person? So sometimes I have a little session where I sit down and I do it, but I definitely read them. Hello, paddles. Moving forward. No, I wouldn't treat comedians like that, but I would treat the general public like that because they're nicer people. Yeah, you're right. It's not that we're not nice. We're just more direct. Very. There's no crying in comedy. No. There's no whining in comedy. No. You just buckle up, soldier. All right, termites. Well, that's it. Come see me in Chicago, Green Bay, Milwaukee, Minneapolis. Those are like the 4 that are coming up. Yeah. And then after that, I lose track because it goes ape shit in a great way. You got to give us next week your birthday update. I will give a birthday update. Yes, I will. All right. Oh. Okay, termites. I'm going to take a drink of my beer, and I'm going to say night-night, termites.